Mario Jumpman Mario. What hasn't already been said about him? This Japanese Italian American icon is everywhere and is a titan of the video game industry, spawning as a spin-off to Donkey Kong, but then spawning numerous spin-offs himself. But today we're looking at the mainline Super Mario titles, throwing in some titles that are debatably mainline as a sort of bonus as well. My ranking is a combination of my personal feelings on the games and a more objective approach to how well received the games are overall, with an emphasis on the former, though some rankings are significantly affected by the latter. So, I'm going to go in release order for the mainline games. You can see that I don't have a green screen like I did in my Metroid tier list. I mean, I do have a green wall, which is actually what I used in that, but I'm using a different setup, and I couldn't get the lighting quite right. So it'll just be a green wall behind me. But yeah, I'm going to do it in release order, except for the ones that are, like, debatably mainline. Like, for example, the first two on that list there, you have Bowser's Fury and New Super Luigi U. I'm going to put those on towards the end, and I won't probably order those. So we're starting off right at the very beginning of Super Mario Bros. So not at Mario Bros, not at Donkey Kong, Super Mario Bros. So the first mainline Super Mario Bros. Game is, of course, the titular Super Mario Bros. And that is going up in B tier. Now, it's the one that started it all. So it gets massive credits for that, and it holds up very well considering everything. It's still solid to this day. It was an excellent foundation for the Mario games, and it's really good level design for the time. Mostly it just has some unrefined physics, and it doesn't have as much content as later games, but it's a really solid start, and it's going at the top of B. I almost put it in A, and maybe by the end of this, I will put it in A. On the other hand, we have Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. This game sucks. It's not just because it's hard. In fact, there's going to be harder games, like the games that I think are the two hardest in the 3D games are some of the higher ranked ones on this. But this is like a parody of the first game. It's the only truly bad Mario game. I think every game above this is good. Like, even though it's going to be an E, like, it'll be E relative to everything else. It's not going to be bad. I think Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, or, Super Mario Brothers 2 is bad. Obviously, Super Mario Brothers 2 in the United States is different. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, this game just it introduced some cool new stuff, like, like Luigi's physics and everything. But it's awful level design is what really gets it. And it's mean-spirited level design, because it's not difficult for something that, like, okay, I can overcome this. It's difficult in the way of, oh, you have to figure out where the invisible block is. Oh, there's a weird enemy placement here. Oh, you have to not warp here, because if you warp here, you're getting sent back to the very beginning, but you can warp here instead. And it's just like, it's just really not good. And again, the objective level design, there's like parts filled with, it's like random ass blocks, and then there's like parts filled with nothing, and then it's just really bad. It has some post-game content. That's cool. But it's not good. Also, they have the updated graphics, which cool. No updated music, but updated well, actually, they do have updated music technically, but not really. But the ground texture is updated. It's more detailed. I think it looks like ass. I think it looks terrible. I get what they were going for, and I think it's a cool idea, but it's just too much going on. Now, our Super Mario Bros. 2, which in Japan is called Super Mario Bros. USA. Where are you? There you are. That is going right up here. It's a low B, but it's still a B. It's got some weird level design in parts, and that's the only reason I put it a bit lower, is because some of the strangeness of the level design and stuff, and some of the mechanics are a little odd in a way that doesn't really do it any favors. But it's got a lot of great stuff. It's got good bones. It's a weird departure from the original, but it's a mostly good one. It's got great music. It's got good mechanics. You can play as different characters that have different physics, and it's fun. And you could just do all sorts of various things. You can pick up and throw enemies this time instead. And it was just fun. It was just good fun. And it's quirky, and it's good. So, in case you haven't noticed already, I'm kind of brush over these maybe a little bit faster than I did in my Metroid one, just because there's so many more games in here. Especially because I just talked about the mainline Metroid games, which are technically just the 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania Metroid games. But yeah, this is just a much larger number of games. I'm also covering the unofficial ones. Because I've played all these games. There's one I actually haven't completed on this list. That is one of the not truly mainline games. We'll talk about that way later. But now, we're talking about the game where Mario truly started to come in his own. And that's Super Mario Bros. 3. Really solidified what Mario was and what Mario could be. Its biggest issues are World 8 and the levels are short. Like, World 8's level design is bad, and the level design otherwise is good, but very short. But this really solidified what Mario was, could be, and will be. And power-ups are new and fun. There's so much to explore with the extra stuff, and you can warp around, but if you don't, you find so much wonderful stuff. And again, if I was ranking the remakes and the re-releases and stuff in this, the remake of this, the Super Mario Advance 4, would be an S tier, because it's got all that, except there's it's a little freer in the movement that you can have around the worlds, and it also has the extra levels on the e-reader cards, which obviously a lot of people aren't going to have the e-reader cards, but in the two re-releases in Wii U and Switch, you can have the whole game. You can have that, it's basically Mario Mania. Some people have said, as Sonic Mania, this is Super Mario Brothers Mania. It takes elements from all the other games, and it's really good. Now we're going to talk about Super Mario Land, and I feel like I have to give it an E, just because it's still, I think it's good for what it is. But for what it is. The graphics are bad. It was a very, very early Game Boy game. It was one of the first. It was the first Mario Game Boy game, obviously. It was the first Mario portable game. Mario Brothers. Super Mario. Mainline Super Mario was the first one. It has great music. Bad graphics. It has a lot of interesting ideas in it, and a lot of the wackiness of the Koopa blows up now, and the bouncing ball power up and everything. The level design is decent. It's solid in a lot of parts, but it reuses sections repeatedly, and it kind of controls like a Flash game. It's just not the most solid, but it's short and sweet. Doesn't overstay its welcome. I think it's pretty great. Now, Super Mario World. Where am I going to put this one? I mean, of course it is. It's an S-ranked game. This is a fantastic game. Before Wonder, it was indisputably the best 2D Mario. We'll see where I put Wonder in a little while. You'll see if I put it over it or under it. Excellent controls. Great level design. Beautiful use of the graphics on the Super Nintendo. Great music. The power-ups are awesome. Like the cape power-up just feels so great. Feels so great to get on Yoshi, and the detail of just Yoshi's controls and the extra stuff that he can do, and just the details of the music changing to more percussive sounds when you're on Yoshi to give you that sense of extra power. It just came together to be the best 2D Mario, possibly the best 2D platformer. Definitely the best one that had ever existed at the time. Possibly still at least in the top 5. At least. Okay, maybe in the top 10, but still. It's just really good. Now, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. It is a better game. I don't like the music, and I hate to say that because it's Totaka, and I like him a lot. I think he's great. It just missed the mark on this one. Some of the music's very good, but a lot of it's not great. The controls are slightly wonky, but they're all right. Many different worlds in this game, and there's a lot of creative level designs. It's really kind of fleshing out how 2D Mario can be. Well, Mario, period, at that point, obviously, because, again, at this point, there's no 3D Mario. We're getting there. Really, showing what Mario could be portably. One small thing I have that's a problem with it, too, is that its difficulty scaling isn't great, because the Wario level is much more difficult than, like, any other part of the game. You can get, like, a crap ton of lives, so it doesn't really matter, but still. It's much harder. Also, yeah, introduction of Wario. So that's cool. Now, Super Mario 64. Some people are going to disagree with this, but I'm putting in an S. It might be a low S, but it's still S. It just controls so well, man. It just controls so well. The biggest issue, obviously, some of the graphics haven't aged well, and the level design is wonky because they're still figuring out how 3D platforming works. But they really got close to nailing it on the first mark. They were just weird things, and obviously some weird physics, and there's a lot of glitches, but some of the glitches make it more fun to play. Great music, awesome voice work from Charles Martinet. Colorful, creative levels. And the thing is, if they combine this with the DS version, which I'll put up here just because it's there, the DS version's very good. More content, a little bit more saturated, and the graphics are a little weird. And also the platforming's a little weird. But if they combine the two to make one game, and they remastered it or something, it'd be the best game ever made. Probably. it'd be one of the greatest 3D platformers ever made, full stop. And they already are. They're already way up there. There's just little things keeping it from being, perfection. Practically, because everything in S is really, really, really good. Man, this next one's gonna be hard. It's really gonna show my bias. Super Mario Sunshine. I want to put it in A because I just think it's neat. I think it's cool. Flood is fun. Do I put it at the top of B or do I put it at the bottom of A? Well, here's the thing. I'll put it in B only because it just has really stupid difficulty balance, collision issues. It doesn't explain how, getting shines with blue coins feels like it's important. It's not. It's pointless. And the way they reward players by 100% is complete ass. If you know, you know. But everything else, it's very fun, tight controls, colorful levels, pretty good music. First game where Mario really looks like what we consider Mario now. It's just solid. It's just really solid and just needed a little bit more time in the oven to be really, really excellent. And it just has some weird everything. Level design's weird. A lot of just weird stuff. It was only the second 3D Mario, though. So, all right. Now, New Super Mario Brothers. Really great return to form for 2D Mario. I hope they don't remake it 3 times. I really hope they don't remake it 3 times. That would be bad. Otherwise, it's quite good. Okay, now we have Super Mario Galaxy, and this is going to be a controversial pick, but I'm just putting it at A. High A, but just still A. I don't like a lot of the controls and level design from this game. And that's my biggest gripe with it. A lot of stuff otherwise is really, really good. Don't get me wrong. And again, some of the level design is excellent. There's just weird choices here and there. Great music, good voice work, fun that it has a story. It's not excellent, but it's a decent story, especially for a Mario game. There's just, and you can do some really creative stuff with the movement and controls in this game, especially if you like speedrunning it. But there's just little things. If you run off a ledge, your momentum dies and you just kind of fall, and it's this is gross. It feels like shit. And it just, there's weird little things like that just really make this game not feel as good for me. If it was only my personal opinion, I might actually put the game a little bit lower. But I do very much like Super Mario Galaxy. Again, everything above Lost Levels. Lost Levels sucks ass. Everything else, I think, is a very good game. I enjoy a lot. Well, not very good, all of them, but like anything that's an E is at least good. Okay, now we got Super Mario Bros. Wii, which is gonna be here, I think. That's a really good one. It improved on the original, and it like had really good level design, good music. It introduced multiplayer. They should have stopped there, but we'll get to the other one soon. All right, Super Mario Galaxy 2. I bet you're wondering, where am I going to put it? Am I going to put it above or below Mario Galaxy? I'm going to put it just above. So the fact that this game is more linear than the first one does make it not for everyone, and there are elements of that I don't like as much, but a lot of it I do like as much, and I think I just enjoy the level design and the addition of Yoshi more in this game. The controls still bother me, and this game's harder, but I actually like that too. I felt like a lot of Mario Galaxy was a little too easy. And then parts of it were like pretty difficult. And then Mario Galaxy 2 was like a pretty decent challenge throughout. Like it wasn't crazy hard, but it's probably the hardest 3D Mario. Other than maybe Sunshine. But even Sunshine's actually not that hard, it's just hard to 100%. There, I said it. Again, the controls still bother me. I like it better than 1. I actually like 1's music for the most part better. But both are very good in their own right. They're really excellent games. Again, A is still excellent. Super Mario 3D Land. This is an underrated gem of a game. I'm going to put it up there. This game's really good. It really experiments with a lot of the capabilities of the 3DS. It doesn't require, the 3D, but it actually uses it in creative ways. Game's pretty easy and like a little weird, kind of 2.5D. But it's not bad because it's weird. Like I love the game. I love the Galaxy games. The reason I went down on like some of the more negatives is because I know people are going to be like, "What do you mean these games are perfect?" They're pretty freaking amazing. But anyway, 3D Land, yeah, it's just a really good game. Just really solid and great foundation for a game that would come later, as we know. But yeah, it's a 3D, original 3D installment on a portable device. Of course we had the Super Mario 64 DS, but like this is a, portable device dedicated 3D Mario. Really good. It's really underrated if you have a 3DS, and especially if you like 3D World, give this one a go. And even if you don't like 3D World, because they're very similar, but they're different enough, I think. New Super Mario Bros. 2. No, I'm sorry. It's not bad. It's not bad, but coin mode is really good. Everything else is just okay. The level design, you can tell they were focusing on coin mode. It's just it's really fun for coin mode and made for getting as many coins as possible, and that's the whole gimmick of the main game. But it's not fun in the main game, really, to get that many. And the level design isn't that good. Too many fucking coins. I get that that's the gimmick, but then make it so 1-ups are harder to get because it made this game piss easy. And I mean, I know that, like, obviously, like, oh, having a bunch of lives doesn't mean the game's easy. You might die a bunch of times. And it's like, yeah, but it also wasn't that hard to begin with, so it just feels ridiculous. Super Mario 3D World! Wahoo! This game's great. This game's really great. Fun little cutscenes. Great final boss. Which is ironic because the final boss, they put him into Mario Maker 2, and it's like one of the worst bosses in Mario Maker 2. Great power-ups. Really great. 100%ing it is kind of a pain in the ass at times. But everything else about this game is really great. Kind of this interesting, almost 2.5D. It's not really 2.5D, but it's like, it's 3D in the spirit of 2D in a lot of ways. and it's just very charming, and you can tell there was a lot of love put into this. The cat power-up is just a great animal power-up. It's just really just pure fun and joy, and it's not crazy difficult unless you try to go for 100%. Then it gets a little difficult, but like the game itself isn't actually that hard. It just becomes tedious to 100%. And then like the final level, which I actually haven't gotten to the final level. I've gotten pretty close, but at some point I'll go back and I'll get to that. Now I'll talk about Bowser's Fury when we talk about the unofficial like side games and stuff. But Super Mario Odyssey. I know this game has gotten flack in some circles of the internet. I know this game is looked at as being too easy in parts. Super Mario Odyssey is the best Mario game. Bar none. Best platforming physics. The Cappy gimmick is a good gimmick. The music's great. It looks really nice. It's fun to just play through. And if you want to go to the more harder stuff, you can. It's not crazy hard, but it gets harder. It really does get harder. And some of those harder moons are hard. But that's the thing, is that it's accessible because a lot of the moons are super freaking easy. So yeah, it's gonna be easy to beat the game. But you're gonna want to keep playing. You're gonna want to keep playing, in my opinion. You're gonna want to keep playing. This game is so freaking good. It is 3D platforming perfection. This is... I think it's fair to say that this is the greatest 3D platformer ever made. I really do. There's one that comes close. Well, actually, there's a few that come close, to be fair. But we're going to talk about some other, stuff. But it's definitely the greatest 3D Mario platformer of all time, if nothing else. It's really, really good. Now, oh crap, Super Mario how did I skip Mario U and also fucking didn't put in Wonder. Hang on. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I got it in Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and I'm going back to New Super Mario Bros. U. And here's the thing about New Super Mario Bros. U. There's a reason I skipped over it. It's because it's very forgettable. It's fine. The music is very repetitive, but it's just very... It didn't do anything new or interesting. The level design isn't that good. Like, some of the levels are weirdly long without much to do. The squirrel power-up, the flying squirrel power-up's fun. It's a good game. That's the thing, is like, but for a Mario game, it's just pretty alright. Like, it's still a very good game. There's a lot of bang for your buck in this. They should have made so much more of the game like the kind of Van Gogh level, and people have said that for a long time. But here's the thing, is then Super Mario Bros. Wonder came out, and for now, I'm putting it just under Super Mario World. There's just something about how Super Mario World reinvented Mario and the content that's in the game that just makes it something magical, and great music and everything. And Wonder, well, I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know, Wonder does a lot of that too. I don't know, though. Personally, I'm keeping it on World. I have some more, I have more concrete thoughts about why, and I can't really organize my thoughts right now. Someday I'll come on and I'll talk about these two games and talk about why one might be better than the other and vice versa. But for now, putting it just under. It might be the best 2D Mario game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It's really, really great. It has a crap ton of characters, the most in the mainline Mario game that you can play as. Excellent final boss. Great graphics, really stylized. Good music. Great new power-ups. It has the badges, which are really fun. Bowser Jr. fights aren't great, but they're not bad either. I think it's a little too easy. I think that's part of it, is Super Mario World has a little bit more challenge, I think. in some of its levels at least. Yeah, no, in general, even with like the bonus levels in World are harder than the bonus levels in Wonder for the most part. But Wonder's really excellent, and people thought we were gonna hate the flowers, but they're actually really fun. It's just a really, really, really excellent game, and it just warms my heart. It's one of the best games out there. You gotta play it if you enjoy 2D platformers. If you enjoy Mario, which I'm assuming if you made it this point in the video, you do. So, yeah. So that's all the mainline games. Now let's talk about some of the spin-offy, not-so-mainline games. Here's the one that I haven't finished yet, but I'm still putting it, like, up here. It might go higher. Might go lower. I don't know. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. So the Super Mario World 2 is just to sell it. It's not actually Super Mario World 2. But Yoshi's Island is a great first entry in the Yoshi series. It really laid the foundation of what other Yoshi games would be, and it also laid some stuff for Mario as well. And it's really good. It's such an excellent use of the graphics on the Super Nintendo, again, because this one, it has like this storybook element, and it just looks beautiful. It has not aged a day in so many ways. And the music's great. It's, you know, I'm going to at least put it above 3D World. Just a little bit above. So I think the music and the graphics just make it a little bit, push it a little bit above. I don't know, like, it didn't grab me as much as I was hoping it did. Like, this game, people teach it, like, talk about it like it's the second coming of Christ. This game didn't grab me as much as I thought it was going to, but it's a really, really good game. And I highly recommend it. Yeah, just don't go in expecting it to be the second coming of Christ. And I played Yoshi's Island DS when I was young, too, so maybe, like, going into this after playing a little bit of that, maybe it, like, skewed my opinion on it. But it's very good. It's super solid. It's one of the best 2D platformers out there. Very colorful. We have moved past the need for a game that has Mario crying, so maybe that's another reason why I didn't put it all the way at the top or higher. But it's still like S. I still think it's excellent. Wario Land. So Wario Land is sometimes, you know, subtitled Super Mario Land 3. It's pretty good. It's a D, though, because it really starts to set off how Wario, you know, is different from Mario, but it still feels very Mario-ish, and not in a way that really serves the game well. The level design is fine. The graphics are kind of whatever, obviously. It feels very Super Mario Land 2, and like in the same way that there's some wonky physics in that. It's very fun, but Wario Land gets, like, great once 2 rolls around, and it just got, like, better. Like, 3 is excellent. 4, I've only just started playing, but it's being, you know, so far it's really, really good. Okay, so now, I think in release order it would be New Super Luigi U, whatever. This game is good. It's, like, slightly better than U. Slightly better than U. No, it's slightly better than New Super Mario Brothers U. You know, New Super Luigi U. It's harder, but it also is harder in a lot of superficial ways. Like, it's like, oh, this level's moving. Oh, this level, you know, all the levels are less than 100 seconds. Oh, this level has a hard to find exit. And, like, that kind of feels like crap. But everything else about it's kind of cool. And I think the Luigi physics are actually done really well in this game. Sometimes the Luigi physics are annoying, but I actually think they designed the levels in a way that really served Luigi as a character. And I do think it's better than base New Super Mario Brothers U. At least for what it is. Like, that's not going to be everyone's cup of tea to try to beat the, you know, like, oh no, I got to beat the level. Oh no, it's harder, you know, things like that. But, like, I think it's really good for what it is. I think it's really good. Speaking of really good, oh, we're not there yet, actually. We're at, well, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. Super Mario Run is fine. There's a good amount of content, and they've already added some, like, Wonder content, but it's an auto runner, and it doesn't do a lot beyond some shallow gimmicks. And so it's just not as fun to play. There's like a song in this game in one of the modes where there's like this weird vocals where this woman does like a riff and then she's like, "Show me your love," and I'm like, what the fuck is that? So the game's kind of weird in like a kind of nice way. But yeah, it's kind of weird. All right, last but not least, Bowser's Fury. This game's fucking awesome. S tier. Bowser's Fury is so good. It's fun to just run through because it's kind of short. It's like the first truly no holds barred open world Mario game. Like Super Mario, 64 and Odyssey and 3D World, you all have to go to different places. And Galaxy, yeah. You all have to go to different places. And it's like pretty open there, but it's like open zone-ish. It is kind of open world, but this is the first like truly open world. And it's really awesome. I love it so much. And it's a lot of fun. And I'm going to come back to it a lot. It's very short, obviously. But it's fun to 100% because of that, in a lot of ways. And it's not too easy. It's not too hard. Might be a little bit more on the easy, at least for like the base 50 cat shines or whatever. But it's a good game. It's really good. Again, when I was saying some games come close to Mario Odyssey in 3D platforming, I was talking about this one in particular. There are other games that are not Mario games that come close, but like this one's really freaking good. It is so fun. It's so satisfying. Bowser Jr.'s added in a way that's like not invasive, but it's helpful and it's kind of cute. And you can like scale how much you want him to help. And it's just fun to explore that open area, and it's really pretty to look at. The music's really good. It's just awesome. So yeah, that is my tier list of the Super Mario Brothers, or just Super Mario games. The mainline Super Mario games plus some of the ones that are like tentatively mainline. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I went through some of those games really quickly. I wanted to get this out in time for Mario Day because I meant to do the last Mario Day, and then I meant to do it when the Mario movie came out, and then I meant to do it when Wonder came out. So now I finally have it out. And sorry, the microphone has been obstructive, possibly a little distracting. It's a little easier to record with it, having it strapped to my face. I might not use it for every video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll let this be a little bit of an unofficial announcement too, that there's going to be another game on here that's going to be my first series that I actually finish, because I'm finishing all the other series, don't get me wrong. But this is just a 3-episode series, and it's going to come out later this month. And it's a platformer. It's like a little cheap, I won't tell you what it is, you know what? I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's a cheap short platformer, but it's like really fun and really cute. Has nothing to do with Mario, but it's a platformer. And at some point I'm going to do some speedruns of it too, because I noticed the speedrun is both short but also really unoptimized, so I'm going to try to get at least close to world record. Then I'll just also say that I want to get out more Kirby stuff, but some of the Kirby stuff looks like it's scuffed beyond repair, so I don't know if that playlist is going to come out more. But there's going to be more Metroid stuff, and there's going to be more of all the other ones I haven't finished yet. And at some point, I'm going to try to play through all the Mario games on this channel. First of all, I know I've already started Mario 64, but I'm going to do Super Mario Bros. 2 at some point on this channel. Try to play through all of it, maybe in one go. And we'll see. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Like this video if you did. Subscribe if you really did. Hit the bell if you really, really did. Go ahead and check out my Patreon and Fiverr in the description. You can also check out my main channel in the description where I post music and other fun things. And yeah, all my social media links are down there too. So thank you so much for watching. I love you, my lemon bars. Like and subscribe. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, and don't forget to tell me why I'm so wrong about lost levels. Because I'm sure, the addition of Luigi and the fact that you can get World 9 and World A, makes it fucking a masterpiece. Okay, bye.